Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Coffee Talk. Today I had to run out and actually go grab some coffee, being a very busy person, and I had to warm it up and it kind of spilled everywhere, so struggles of being Caitlin on a daily basis. So it is nearing the end of March, which is famously Women's History Month. This month has been empowering. Just seeing every woman around you feeling empowered and expressing what empowerment means to them is just very infectious, and I love it. Also, I want to give a shout out to Diversity Diplomats, the Student Development Office, and Student Housing at Cameron University for putting on a series of a women empowerment series to honor Women's History Month and International Women's Day in the month of March. It was a series of seminars and discussions to talk about what it means to be a woman, what you can do as a woman, and how to deal with relationships, circumstances that you're in, all these different kinds of things, and it was very nice and welcoming discussions. So that brings me into this next bit. I went online to ask people, one, what makes you feel empowered as a woman, and then two, men, what do you do to support the women who surround you? I got so many wonderful answers. First, I want to read from the men's perspectives because there were only a few of those responses, then I'll get into the women's perspectives. So at Brennan PMH, he said that the way he supports the women around him is he uses more empowering adjectives to describe them, such as cunning, witty, strong-willed, etc. And he said basically not always focusing on cute, funny, or beautiful. Thank you, Brennan, for your response. And thank you for supporting the women around you in such an empowering way. At Tufty Launcher 7 says that he tries to make them laugh or happy. That's very sweet. At I Know a Joke says, I listen to her. Every woman appreciates a man who actually listens. That's my boyfriend. Another man replied on my Facebook post. I'm not really sure how to pronounce his name, so I apologize. But he said the fact that most college students, law students, and med students are women. The fact that we have 102 women in the House of Representatives. The Speaker of the House is female. 6 women have announced that they're running for president in 2020. The most effective prime minister in the world right now is a woman. Looking forward to the day when women's history is mainstream instead of having 1 month to showcase it. Okay, now into the women's responses. Just dropped my phone. Okay, now into the women's responses. Aaliyah Oliede says, I feel empowered as a woman when I am listened to and when I see my ideas come to life. It reminds me that even though sometimes I have to yell in order to be heard, I can still accomplish my goals. Celeste Powell said, I would say having the freedom to wear whatever I want makes me feel empowered. From jeans and a t-shirt to dresses with heels. It doesn't have to be revealing clothes, but having the option to wear them if I want to is what I appreciate. Alexis Maldonado says, I think being a woman in today's society is sort of tricky because there's a stigma if you don't look a certain way, act a certain way, and like certain things. So I think for me it's as simple as self-love. Self-love makes me feel empowered as a woman because when you love yourself, you're not worried about what society has to say. You like that outfit? You buy it and work it. You listen to music that isn't popular? Listen to it as loud as your heart desires. It's hard to be yourself in a society like today, especially for a woman. Self-love isn't something everyone has, and I definitely understand that. It's a journey that everyone has to be prepared to take on their own time. So, in short, self-love is what makes me feel empowered as a woman. Because if I love myself, I won't have to search for that love in other people on social media or in society, because they will all undoubtedly fail at filling that void only I'm capable of filling. Self-love is empowerment, and that is happiness. Tiffany Anderson said the most empowering thing about being a woman to me is leading other women to notice their value and worth and make them feel inwardly beautiful so their outward beauty shines. Samantha DeMauve says, I feel empowered by having the freedom to make my own decisions about my own life. Anne-Marie Altman says, I honor myself. I appreciate all my imperfections and my body. Hope Gillespie says, freedom makes me feel empowered. I am free to dress how I want and be who I am unapologetically. That is a great feeling. Miranda Martin says, having younger girls look up to me as a role model makes me feel confident. and more sure of myself. Abby Tompkins says, lifting other women up. It's so important to lift each other up. I agree, Abby. At Caribbean Goddess, who is Amy Garrett, she says, there are several aspects about myself that make me feel empowered as a woman, so I will get in depth about each one. Physically wise, I am one of a kind. Being the only one like me gives me some sort of empowerment and pride. Also, being strong enough to handle any pain like menstruation, hormonal changes, and being capable of carrying new life is very empowering. When it comes to the mental aspect, it is a privilege to be courageous enough to be myself, love myself, and to embrace myself in a society where they are always finding ways to tear women down. Jessica Martin says that God fashioned and designed us as creation, unlike the men who were made quickly, and that the Lord chose a woman to bring the Savior into the world, and that women were the first big evangelists in the scriptures, and the reason that the church has survived generation after generation. Powerful truths. Gretchen Brunheber says, the ability to create life. Nothing ever made me feel more powerful until becoming a mother. It is a game changer. And Gretchen, you have a beautiful, beautiful little baby boy. And finally, for one of the longest responses I've ever gotten, Flea Ortiz. She says, being from the older generation, mid-40s, I can mention a few moments in my life where I felt empowered as a woman. I was raised in South America where women were expected to fit a certain mold, and I broke that barrier when I decided to pack my few things and fly to Germany as a 19-year-old. I took my life and future into my own hands, and in Germany proved to many older managers that a young 23-year-old could give presentations to business owners in their 50s. I felt empowered when my gender and age did not matter, but my knowledge and quality of work. When I gave birth to my first daughter, I am a mom of 4, I had that same amazing realization as Gretchen Brunheber. Women can create perfect little human beings. It is a unique and precious gift that God gave us to create life. Today, I am grateful and empowered by the sense that women have so many more options than generations before. We can vote, work and be mothers, be business owners, be a soldier. Our possibilities are endless. I feel empowered as a woman, mother, and wife. Because I see all of these options, I and other women can take and with it make a difference in someone else's life. All of these wonderful responses were very moving. But to those women and really anyone who's struggling to discover their self-worth and what empowers them, just understand that art takes time. Monet grew his gardens before he painted them. So I just wanted this to be a recap, a kind of conclusion to Women's History Month, as a reminder that, like was mentioned before, this shouldn't be just one month to honor women's history or women empowerment. It should be a daily thing. Constantly love yourself and constantly empower those around you. Thank you to everyone who responded to my questions on social media. Thank you to all the women who shared what was empowering to them, because hopefully that helped you identify what makes you feel empowered so you can think about that on a daily. And thank you to all the men out there who are supporting the women around them. Also, thank you to my wonderful mother for being a great role model and person to look up to. You've gone through so much and you've shown me what strength really looks like.